What are some of your memories that you have growing up? Memories are a powerful thing. If we can remember how we felt in a certain situation, especially if we experience pain, and guess what? When someone else experiences that around us, we can understand how that feels. And we can help that person. In the story we're about to hear, there's a boy named Frank who grows up in the mountains of North Carolina. He doesn't have everything that he needs. In fact, the one thing that he wants, he can't get. And when he grows up, he remembers that. Because he never got it, it drives him to become somebody even better. So just because you're going through something that's hard doesn't mean you can't work your way through it. You hear that little phrase that says, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Well, I believe that. And I think that you can do something amazing with your life, no matter how hard it might seem right now. I just speak that over you, that power into your life. I see it. So as we listen to this story together, I want you to remember that. Let's get started. A train comes through Appalachia every year at Christmas, and though it doesn't have antlers, nor does the man standing on the rear platform have a long white beard, it may as well be Santa Claus and his sleigh for all the excitement it stirs up. People call it the Christmas train, and it has been coming to them for years. Each child born in the mountains learns to walk, talk, and wait for the Christmas train. It is everyone's delight. The old people remember its beginning. It all started a long time ago. They tell of a rich man who had come traveling through the hills by car many years back. No one knows why he came up to those hills, but that's not very important. You see, the man had an accident. His car took itself right over the edge of a cliff. Someone came along. It's not important who. But whoever it was pulled that rich man out of this car and took him to the house in the hills where he was nursed and cared for till he could make it on his own. When he left, the rich man tried to give money to the people who had helped him, but they wouldn't accept it. So that rich man, he left those mountains feeling he owed a debt. And for the remaining of his life, he began repaying this debt from the caboose of a Christmas train. On the 23rd, a train will slowly wind up around the mountains, and there will stand the rich man in a blue wool coat. He tosses a silver package into the hands of a child who waits beside the tracks, and for some, it'll be the only present they receive. So the train is pretty important. One year, a boy named Frankie stands beside those tracks and waits for the Christmas train. It's cold. Lots of snow has come down the night before, and Frankie's shoes are thin, and his feet hurt badly. But he's determined to wait, even if his feet and all the rest of him become ice. Now this particular boy wants a particular present, a doctor's kit. He's been waiting for it beside those tracks. The train comes through finally, the noise and the steam, whew, it's so big, but everybody loves to see it. They cheer and they clap, and even some mothers weep when they see it coming. Frankie stands right there by the tracks, praying for that doctor's kit till he sees the caboose come slowly up. When it's just past his nose, he shouts and he waves and he runs after the train, his icy feet are aching. From the rear of that platform, the rich man in the wool coat sees him. "Merry Christmas!" he calls out. He tosses into Frankie's hand a sparkling silver package. Frankie's out of breath. He can't yell a thank you. He can only hold tight to his gift and wave to the man on the train disappearing into the mountains. Frankie carries his package home and puts his own name on it and sets it under the family Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, he opens it. It isn't a doctor's kit. It's a cowboy holster and 3 pairs of thin red socks. Frankie looks at his mom and his dad and his brothers and sisters and tries not to cry. He wears the socks all winter and plays with the cowboy set all year, but he dreams about a doctor's kit. The next Christmas, Frankie waits again in the cold for the Christmas train. The socks still fit him, so his feet are warm, but his fingers are cold and hurting. So he waits at the tracks and prays for that doctor's kit. The train comes. The rich man tosses out the silver package. And that Christmas morning, Frankie opens it. No, it's a little police car with lights that really work, plus 2 pairs of brown mittens. Frankie doesn't cry. He wears the mittens all winter and plays with the car all year, but yet he dreams of a doctor's kit. Frankie waits 3 more years, but never comes. He gets trucks and balls and games, he gets mittens and socks and hats and scarves, but the doctor's kit never comes. When Frankie grows up, he moves away out of them hills. He lives in a different place and meets different kinds of people, and he himself changes. But deep inside of him, never changing, are his memories. And what he remembers most about being a boy in them hills is that just when it seemed like his feet would freeze like the snow, a man on a train had brought socks. And just when it seemed like his fingers were hardening to freeze, the man had brought mittens. And just when the cold wind was cutting sharp as a blade into his throat, the man had brought a scarf. And just when Frankie's ears were too numb with red and cold, the man had brought a hat. And Frankie remembers something about owing a debt. So a grown man who's been gone a long time moves back to them same mountains to live. His brothers and sisters are still there waiting for him. He returns to the hills where he grew up, and that winter near Christmas he stands at the tracks watching the children wait for the train. And it comes as always, and the grown man watches the steam engine move toward him, watches the caboose roll by him, and nearly runs after that train, so strong are his memories. But instead, he watches a little girl chase the caboose. Watches that she's running so fast, she trips on a silver package and watches her fall hard to the ground. The grown man does run now, but not for the train and not for the rich man in the wool coat, but for a little girl. He picks her up. He wipes away her tears from the scarf around his neck. He smiles at her. "It's okay, little one," he says easily. The train's disappearing into the trees. He had meant to wave to that rich man, but there just wasn't time. He picks up the silver package and puts it in the little girl's arms. "You'll be all right," he tells her. "I'll make sure." He pulls open his kit to look for a Band-Aid. "Name's Frank," he smiles. "I'm a doctor." Catch you next time.